welcome back to the Boachua Glover Show. It is absolutely great to have you back. So, I have been very vulnerable and deeply personal the last couple of weeks, sharing my father's battle with schizophrenia and the traumatic heartbreak I am still healing from. I know some of those episodes were heavy and long, but I hope you resonated with those stories and the vulnerability because that is really the intent of the show. Deeply personal and thought provoking conversations on life, on health, and relationships. I mean, like I've said a couple of times already before, this is not performance. This is presence. Real stories. Real me. Okay? Now, I made a decision just a few weeks ago that I want to share with you. This is my decision and my plan. I know it will be judged, but I still want to share with you. You know how some women decide that they never want to have kids? Like perhaps because they don't want to go through the pain and the risk of childbirth. Like maternal mortality is a real thing. Maybe they don't trust that they will be good parents. Maybe they don't want to bring kids into this chaotic world. Maybe they like their independence. Or maybe they just don't want to have kids, like no special reason. Like women are deciding more and more to not have a family. Similarly, okay, similarly, I have made the decision to be intentionally single and celibate. Now, intentionally single is different from just being single. Many people view being single as a temporary phase, like a holding pen, a waiting room as you wait for someone right or better to come along. And I think in most cases, being single is absolutely meant to be temporary. What I am describing, though, is not temporary. I am making a deliberate and intentional decision to just remain single. I won't be dating. I will not be seeking male companionship in any way. Now, I know a lot of people will dismiss this as, oh, you're just going through heartbreak, and if the right person comes along, you will see. To me, being in a relationship is like gambling. Well, no, honestly, relationships are like gambling. It is a risk, and it is one of the most important gambles you will take in your life. Like on one hand, there are incredible benefits to being in a relationship. I don't doubt that. To be clear, I'm not anti relationships. There are plenty of benefits, like, you get to have emotional support, right? Someone to lean on through life's ups and downs. You get to have like companionship and intimacy. So, regular, deep emotional and physical closeness. You get to have shared goals and growth, building a future together, legacy, values. And you get to have stability, right? So, joint resources, shared expenses, and you get to like feel seen and valued as someone who knows you intimately and accepts you. I mean, I had all of that. So, yes, relationships offer so much value, but let's also be honest. Relationships come with real risk that many of us have lived through and never fully recovered from. Like, and what are some of those risks, right? In relationships, you can lose your identity. Sometimes we need to dim your own light to maintain peace or connection. And sometimes also emotional dependence can crop up. So your happiness and your self worth becomes dependent on another person's approval. And then sometimes you can compromise to an extent that it's like you betray yourself. So you sacrifice your dreams or your time and you say yes just to avoid rejection or conflict. And there can be unpredictable pain, breakups, betrayal, neglect. Like relationships can break you if you're not emotionally strong or safe. And sometimes relationships can also slow down your personal growth. Your individual journey may be sidelined in the name of us. Being in a relationship can be beautiful, but it can also bury you. I am not choosing to be intentionally single because I am bitter. No, no. I am choosing to be intentionally single because I am learning to choose peace over panic. Like in the last 8 months, I have done a lot of introspection, and I have come to the absolute conclusion that for me, I cannot put myself through the possibility of heartbreak again. I cannot. Like, I was hospitalized, right? There are women who go through childbirth, they will scream and cuss and swear never to have kids again, and then they have like 10 more. For them, having children is absolutely worth the pain. For me, huh? The joys of a relationship aren't worth the pain of the aftermath. Someone mentioned to me that, oh, you're making this decision out of fear. Like, first off, fear isn't always a bad thing. Like, if you are in the jungle and you see a lion charging at you and you barely escape, there is nothing wrong with deciding never to go into the jungle again. Like, some people may go into the jungle again and maybe they'll wear protective gear or learn how to spot lions versus kittens. I don't know. Like, people keep trying things again. For me, I don't want to enter the jungle again after the traumatic experience I have had. Heartbreak for me is trauma, and I have had enough trauma in my life. And I don't want to put myself in any situation that can cause me further trauma. Some people can go back to the jungle and wear the armor they want to wear, but I've chosen a different path. I've chosen peace, even if it means walking alone. I could decide to be single and not celibate, which would mean single but dating and exploring and maybe have sex, but you're focused on yourself. And that is also fine for some people, but not for me. I am no longer interested in sex either. Like, sex for me is part of a connection. I was single and celibate for 9 years. I think it was maybe close to 10 years, like purely celibate before this recent relationship. And since that relationship ended, I've been celibate since then. Like, I don't find any comfort or pleasure in just having sex. Like, sex is also a risk for me because of the potential to create connection and attachment. Like, I will be doomed if I open myself out to sex. I am a very emotionally sensitive person, and I will not be able to separate just having sex from my emotions. Like, some way, somehow, if I allow sex into the mix, I will become attached. And I can't do that to myself now. So, like, when I was single for 9 years before this recent relationship, I did actually optimize that period of my life. The 9 years was still the most peaceful and productive. I climbed the corporate ladder. I wrote books. I traveled. I raised my son. I helped my mother with her health, and I built my home. But I didn't really actively optimize that time. I was just living and getting things done. But I want this new period to be different and more intentional. I am 46 years old now. Yeah. And I have set a 4 year personal strategic plan for myself to get me to 50 years. And I want to use my intentional single life to work through my personal 4 year strategic plan. I want to focus on my mental health, and not just by going to therapy, but also doing the hard work of introspection, like facing my fears, working through my insecurities, and building mental and emotional resilience. I also want to lose weight and be physically healthy. which means I want to be very, very intentional about fitness and nutrition and getting myself checked out and proactively addressing any issues that come up, like physically. I also want to be financially independent. And since I am choosing to be on my own, I need to be able to take care of myself and my son entirely. I want to build a brand and a business focused on what I'm really good at, which is like media and entertainment and the books and stuff like that. And I also want to be spiritually healthy. I want to get closer to God and build other non romantic relationships with friends, my family, my son. I want to build my community. I want to truly take care of myself, to sleep, to relax, and be at peace with my decisions, even if life remains chaotic. So, no, I am not choosing to be intentionally single because I'm afraid to live. No, I am choosing to be single because I want to live my life in a manner that enables me to focus on my growth and healing. Now, some of you or some people might say that honestly, you can't make good decisions when you're in pain. And yes, I own it. I am in pain. But sometimes, yeah, pain illuminates truth. Pain can help you to see things you have avoided for a while. Like my whole life, like I've taken care of everyone most of my life. I am that industrious daughter. I'm a hard worker. I'm a good mother, and I'm usually a great girlfriend and all of that. And I just want to take care of me now, like just me and my son, but truly take care of me. Now, this is going to be an interesting thing that I'll share with you, right? I also decided to follow an online trend and ask Chat GPT a question regarding the likelihood or possibility of finding a partner in Ghana using certain parameters. So, age range, men in their late 40s to late 50s, men that have financial stability and success, men that have emotional maturity and good communication skills, and men who have a genuine interest in a woman who is in her mid to late 40s, a woman who's like overweight by conventional standards, a woman who's a tomboy, not conventionally feminine in outward appearance. Like I don't wear makeup, I don't do weaves or wigs, natural hair. I am very modest in my appearance and not flashy or sexual. I am assertive, introspective, self-aware, and very, like emotionally expressive. All of those parameters. And chat said the realistic percentage is about 2 to 3%. 2 to 3%. The reason being, chat says, is social condition. Many men in Ghana and other similar cultures are raised with a very narrow idea of femininity. And the trophy woman ideal, youthful, slim, glamorously feminine, non confrontational, is deeply ingrained in our men. We are also in a visual culture. So even emotionally mature men can still struggle with the expectation that their partner must look a certain way. They must look the part, especially in public facing on high profile circles. And then there's the power dynamics, right? Assertiveness in a woman, especially one who holds her ground, expresses her feelings, and expects depth. That can be intimidating for many men who are used to emotional deference, not emotional equality. 2 to 3%. 2 to 3%. Um, so my son is studying probability in school, and I remember one of his math questions. And the question was like, there are 20 black beads in a bag and one red bead. What is the probability of picking the red bead? And the answer options were like likely, impossible, highly unlikely, and so forth. And the 2 to 3% likelihood of me finding a compatible mate, it conjures that image for me. Like, imagine a bag of 20 scorpions and one cute little teddy bear. Like, how many times would I have to put my hand in that bag and get bit before I get to the teddy bear? And I'm not the only one going for the teddy bear. So imagine that. I don't want to get bit anymore. Not even once more, just to get to a teddy bear. I don't want someone to determine whether I am worthy or not. I don't want someone to choose me. I want to choose myself. I don't want to ever again give someone the power and the ability to break me and hurt me. So, crucially, intentional singleness is about empowerment, not bitterness. To me, it's a proactive step towards my well being. So, being intentionally single, it's about breaking cycles. It's about refusing to seek self worth in others' approval and instead cultivating it from within. Like, for me, I am invested in becoming the most peaceful and whole version of myself. And in doing so, sometimes you can find that being alone doesn't mean lonely when it's a choice you are making about your own healing. A relationship free life can be very valid, fulfilling, and even joyful. And, sometimes, to be very, very honest, stepping away from romance is exactly what the heart needs to truly heal and thrive. So I'm affirming that my decision to live a life that is deeply rooted in intention, to be single, celibate, and devoted to my healing, growth, and purpose. Listen, like, I have loved deeply and I have lost, and it is okay to be done. I am not asking for approval. I am not really asking to be understood. I'm just sharing to say this is where I am. And for me, it's enough. And maybe I'll change my mind one day. Maybe I won't. But right now, this is my truth. This is my peace. And this is my decision. I am intentionally single and I'm finally okay with that. Thank you for joining me today. Whatever you are going through and however you choose to heal, just remember your decision is yours. Your path is yours. See you next week. I'll take the kids to school, wave them goodbye. I'll thank my lucky stars for the night. When you looked over your shoulder for a minute,